Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Let the Lord protect both of us, teacher and taught together. Let the Lord give us the results of our knowledge together. Let our study be luminous. Let we attain greatness together. May we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right, so we are studying the Katha Upanishad, and we are in some particularly powerful and beautiful mantras right now. Now, the last time we did this very important mantra, mantra number 20. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan atmasya jantor nihito guhayam tamah kratu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadad mahimanamatmana. Smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest is this very self. Notice the contradictory language, the paradoxical language used here. Why is paradoxical language used? As I mentioned earlier, because the Atman is so subtle, our real nature is so subtle, it can't be directly stated. So the Upanishads use a variety of strategies. One second. The Upanishads use a variety of strategies to communicate that which cannot be directly communicated through words. One of the strategies is paradoxical language. What are the other strategies? One well-known strategy is neti neti. If it cannot be said directly, perhaps what it is not can be said. See, if Atman cannot be said that this is the Atman, well, at least you can say what is not the Atman. That this is not the Atman, that is not the Atman. This way you can point out indirectly. That is the neti neti method. Then there is the implied meaning, lakshyartha, which we have seen in Vedanta Sara. So multiple meanings are used, multiple strategies are used for pointing out something which cannot be directly stated. One of the strategies is this one, paradoxical language. Greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest. But what does it mean? It sounds wonderful, but what does it mean? What is that which is greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest? Which means what is there that which is common to both? In the greatest, in the smallest, what is that one reality? Suppose I tell you, there is something which is greater than the greatest tsunami wave and smaller than the smallest bubble. What is that? You will say water. Water is smaller than the smallest bubble because water is in that bubble, so it has to be smaller than a bubble. But it is greater than the tsunami wave also, because the whole tsunami wave is nothing but water, and beyond the tsunami wave also lies water only. So water is more than the tsunami wave and less than the bubble. So in that sense, now that's easy for water, but what about this universe? What is greater than the vastest thing in this universe and tinier than the tiniest thing? Existence itself, being itself. And if we truly appreciate what consciousness is, in what sense is it Satchit, existence awareness? Then we will see this existence awareness is at the root of everything. Anything that you experience, it is constituted of this existence awareness, or more than constituted, it appears in this existence awareness. The tiniest of things, it is that existence awareness. Vastest of things, it is that existence awareness. And that is the Atman. Atmasya jantor nihitam guhayam. In all sentient beings, in all living beings, in all jivas, this Atman which we are talking about, it resides in the cave of the heart, or that means in your mind as consciousness. This consciousness is tinier than the tiniest, greater than the greatest, faster than the fastest, and slower than the slowest. It moves without not moving, without moving. It does not move, and yet it appears to move. How is this possible? I mentioned last time by upadhi, by the various names and forms. Same colorless crystal. It can be yellow. If the yellow flower is behind it, it can be red. If the red flower is behind it, it appears to be yellow, appears to be red, but actually it's neither. Similarly, the Atman, is it actually tiny? No. Is it actually very, very vast, bigger than galaxies? And no, not really. It is only when you bring in the concept of space, and then we talk about being vaster than the vastest. Is it even actually eternal? Not really. Eternal in the sense of persists through time for a long time or eternally forever. Not in that sense. It's only when you bring in the concept of time, then Atman is not like other things which are born and they die. No. From the perspective of time, it is eternal. But actually, even time appears in consciousness. So, Atmasya janto nihitam guhayam. It is another way of saying Tattvamasi. You, the consciousness, are this thing which you are speaking about. Who will see it? Tamakratu dhatu prasada. Tamakratu pashyati vitashoko dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. The one realizes it who is beyond desires, who has given up these desires. If we are very fixated on, I want this and I don't want that, raga dvesha, we will never see the bigger picture. Even in day-to-day life, surely one will become biased. Surely one will become caught up in the little ups and downs of samsara. Too much focus on the world. And why does too much focus on the world come? Because of likes and dislikes. I'm so eagerly, I want this to happen. I so eagerly, I'm completely against this. I'm so much against that one. Repulsed by that one, attracted and tempted by that one, then it's very difficult to see the background of both are the same. See, Raga Dvesha is exactly the opposite of Atman. What is Raga Dvesha? I really, really want this. I really, really don't want that. But then this one which you want is already yours. You are that. That one which you want to reject, you cannot reject because you are already that. That one is already none other than you. Everything in this universe is none other than you. The two do not go together. This experience of sameness in all beings, and that sameness is you. You alone shine forth as the universe. This experience, this realization of the sameness in all beings on one hand, and strong likes and dislikes on the other hand. They can't go together. So strong likes and dislikes prevent you from realizing the Atman. One more thing, dhatu prasada, this is another way of saying by the grace of the sense organs. The grace of sense organs means you must be able to pull back the sense organs and steady the mind. Basically, two things he's saying: purity of mind and concentration of mind. These two things are necessary. Who has these? Adhikari, which we have seen, fourfold qualifications, which Nachiketa definitely is Adhikari. Adhikari means one who's qualified. What qualifications are required? The qualifications which Nachiketa has. Is completely without any desire for anything in the world and or the other world. Yama has tested him thoroughly. He's also intensely disciplined because you saw how he was. Two examples I'll give. How he stayed without wavering, waiting for Yama to come back. The little boy, without eating or drinking anything, he stayed outside Yama's door until Yama comes back. You remember at the beginning of the story? Also, when in the second boon, Yama explained to him a very complicated ritual, the Karma Kand of the Veda. The Nachiketa repeated it back to him verbatim, which means it shows how much attention he has got. Focus. So, purity of mind, concentration of mind, both Nachiketa has. If focus of mind is not there, flickering mind is there, this will not work. Vedanta will not work. Vedanta is the highest knowledge. It requires a prepared mind. Prepared mind means equal to pure mind plus focused mind. If mind is not focused, somebody gave a very nice example. Suppose you're learning how to drive. You see, you're driving and your teacher is sitting next to you. Now, if it's raining or drizzling, you have the windshield wiper. It goes like this. The windshield wiper in front of it is like this. Now, if I start looking at the wiper, if the wiper is going like this and I'll start looking like this, the teacher will say, hey, look at the road. And if you start looking, the viper is going like this, I start looking like that. Then you have to concentrate on the road. Don't go like this with the viper, with the windshield viper. You have to look at the road. Let the viper go like this, like this. This viper going like this is the vrittis of the mind. Various kinds of thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, desires are coming and going. If you keep tracking that, this is nice, that is bad, I want to remain like this, I don't like that thought. Here is anxiety, here is fear, here is temptation, here is desire. No, don't follow that. That is just like viper, no, going like this. Keep your attention focused on the teaching that you are the Atman. So that kind of focus is necessary. Pashyati mahimanam atman, the glory of the Atman. What is the glory of the Atman? What is the glory of the Atman? That it is immortal. It is not born with the birth of the body. It does not die with the death of the body. That it is completely affected by the ups and downs of the mind. It means you are not born by the birth of the body. You do not die with the death of the body. You are actually completely, you as awareness, completely unaffected by the ups and downs of the mind. That you shining, everything else shines. By your light, everything here is lit up. By your light, the mind is lit up. By your light, the senses are lit up. By your light means you, the light, you consciousness. By you consciousness, mind and senses function and reveal the world to you. Not only that, this mind, senses, and world, all of it is given not only light by you, but existence also by you. They don't exist apart from you. So this is the glory of the Atman. It is one and non-dual. There's no second Atman, and there's no second reality apart from Atman, apart from you. So what are the amazing glory? It is the glory. It is the glorious thing in the whole world. You are that glorious reality. I was listening to a talk by, the new Advaita teacher, Rupert Spira. So I was listening to a talk. Somebody asked him, are there stages to enlightenment? And he gave a beautiful answer, which actually corresponds to the traditional teaching here in the Upanishads. He said, yes, one is, first you must realize what is the Atman, consciousness, stage one. Consciousness, awareness as distinguished from body-mind. This is the first stage. This is what we normally call enlightenment, waking up. He says this is the first stage. Second stage is having realized, oh, I am this. The second stage is recognize the glories of this consciousness. What is the glories of this consciousness? As the Upanishad says, Mahimanam. Mahimanam means glory. The glories of this consciousness. Oh, I am this. Second stage, first is that. I am this awareness. I am awareness. Second stage, I am immortal. I need not fear death. I am beyond the mind and did not fear the little ups and downs of the mind. I am ever fulfilled. I don't need anything from the world. I'm ever at peace. I don't even need meditation, peace of meditation. I am the only reality that is there. The whole world is a dream in me. These are the glories of the Atman. So he says that is the second stage. You must appreciate the glories of awareness. Then the third stage, he says, now life continues. With this knowledge, you must live the life in this body-mind. This particular body-mind will continue to appear. So this is what is called in Vedanta Jivan Mukti. And that is the process. That is the process which Vivekananda called manifestation of the divinity already within us. The manifestation means not only realizing it, not only appreciating the glories of the Atman, but now it should be reflected in the thought, word, and deed of this person who has become so-called enlightened person. That is living this realization. So he said 3 stages of enlightenment. First, realize Aham Brahmasmi. Second, what is this Brahman? What is this Atman? It is Brahman itself, the infinite. Glory of the Atman you realize. Third, live. Manifest it. Manifest it is you will become selfless, you will become fearless, you will be full of sympathy and affection and feeling of oneness for everything in this universe. Nothing can shake you. So all the qualities of the enlightened one will come into you. So this is the 3 stages. And if you look at the traditional teaching of Advaita Vedanta, basically these 3 stages are there. I was just thinking, the first stage, this at least getting a grasp of what is taught here is you by Shravana and Manana, you get it. Appreciating the glories of the Atman is when you stay in Nididhyasana, in that, you just stay with the glory of that. And then comes Jivan Mukti. It is living the life. Now let us go ahead. 21st. Asino duram vrajati shayano yati sarvata kastam madam devam madanyo gyatum arhati. All right, more paradoxical language. What does it mean? Sitting in one place, it goes far, travels far. It means the Atman. While sleeping, it goes everywhere. When it sits, it travels far. When it lies down, it goes everywhere. Kastam madamadam devam. Madamadam devam. This Atman is the Deva, the bright one, the shining one, who is with delight and without delight. We'll see what it means. Kastam madanyo gyatum arhati. Who else can know this except myself? Someone like myself. Yama is doing a little bit of self-promotion. Who can realize this except someone like myself? All right, so what does this mean? The commentator says, Durvigya Atma. The Atman is difficult to ascertain, difficult to pin down, understand clearly. That's why this same kind of paradoxical language is used. Asino duram vrajati shayano yati sarvata. All right, to understand this first phrase, Asino duram vrajati, sitting, it travels far. You, the Atman, sitting, you travel far. What does that mean? For this, we must understand two more important concepts of Advaita Vedanta. Vritti Chaitanya and Swarupa Chaitanya. Vritti Jnana and Swarupa. Let's call it Vritti Jnana and Swarupa Jnana. This cognition knowledge, and knowledge itself, or consciousness. Cognitive knowledge and consciousness. Vritti Jnana and Swarupa Jnana. What does this mean? Recall our understanding from Vedanta Sara. You are pure consciousness. And because of Maya, first thing which appears in pure consciousness, causal body. From that causal body appears the subtle body. In that subtle body, you are reflected. Consciousness is reflected as the reflected consciousness, which is the awareness which we feel right now. I am aware. All my thoughts feel aware. That reflected consciousness lights up the mind. And every movement of the mind. What do I mean by movement of the mind? Anything that you call the mind, whatever is happening in you, every thought is a movement of the mind. Every perception is a movement of the mind. Every understanding of the intellect is a movement of the mind. Mind I'm using in a general sense, meaning technically in Vedanta, it is split up into four. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Mind, memory, ego, and intellect. But all of them together, I'm generally using the English word mind. This is what we feel inside. Every movement of the manas, every movement of the intellect, buddhi, every movement of the memory, emotions, and the perceptions which are raised by the five senses, all of them together, these are called chitta vritti, movement of the mind stuff. They are like, think of them as the mind stuff, think of it as a lake, and the chitta vritti, think of them as little waves in the lake, or little ripples in the lake. So every perception, you see a flower outside. So that perception information, when it comes to the mind, the impulses now travel to the mind, you have a movement in the mind, a ripple in the mind, a ripple on the surface of the lake. That is a chitta vritti. And every vritti has a content. It is about something. So if you have seen a flower, the information about the flower has come through the eyes, then there's a vritti in the mind that here is a red rose. You have seen. Maybe there will be another vritti of the memory, which will call up the similar associations and say it is a rose. So that is a vritti. If you smell it and get a fragrance, that is another vritti, another perception. The fragrance has come, gandha, another chitta vritti, another movement in the surface of the mind. Now these movements on the surface of the mind, all of them are movements. Anything that happens in the mind is chitta vritti. All these chitta vrittis are lit up, illumined by consciousness. You are aware of it, but what consciousness? It is the consciousness which is reflected in the mind, the chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. It is the consciousness which you really are. You are reflected in the mind. That consciousness riding on the vrittis gives you the experience of various things: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. So seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, these are all called vritti jnana. Thinking, remembering, understanding, desiring, hating, vritti jnana. These are all, this is what we normally call knowledge or experience of the world. This is what we call it. You know, external, it could be external, seeing here something, hearing something. It could be internal, about a thought, one thought about another thought, or something going on inside your mind without reference to anything outside. Old memories coming up. All of them are vritti jnana. So our experience of life basically is vritti jnana. Everything that we have is all the movements of the mind. They are revealed by consciousness. Which consciousness? Reflected consciousness. And that reflected consciousness is nothing but the original consciousness, your real nature, then you, the Atman, shining on the mind. Now, an example would be the sun and the moon. I've given this example earlier. At night, everything that we see, suppose the moonlight is the light by which we see things. So this light by which somebody goes out, walks, and does something outside, suppose in a village outside their hut, is by the light of the moon. But light of the moon is actually sunlight. So think of the sun as the Atman, the moon as the mind, and the earth as earth. Now the light of the sun reflected on the moon, from the moon, falls on the earth and illumines things. Now, without the sunlight, no moonlight is possible. But it is a fact also that at night, it is the moonlight itself, that reflected sunlight, no doubt. But still, we call it moonlight for a practical reason. It is the moonlight itself which is useful for us. That moonlight reflected is that the chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. And the sunlight, the original, is the Atman. That is a good example. And remember, transaction, our activities, day-to-day activities, or in that case, nighttime, whatever we are doing outside, that is lit up, useful for us. We are transacting with the help of moonlight. Similarly, whatever we do in life, including studying Vedanta, whatever we are doing in life is all because of vritti jnana. And that vritti jnana is possible because of the mind, chitta vritti, and the reflected consciousness. Now, so in this sense, the consciousness, through its reflection in the various senses, travels. It sees, hears, smells, tastes, touches. It's as if the mind is going out. In fact, in old Vedantic epistemology, the idea was that the vritti actually travels out to the object, but we will not go into that. It makes things more complicated. But let's just say, as if the mind is going to various thoughts, various perceptions. You see different things continuously, you hear different sounds, you smell and taste and touch, you think and you remember. So there is a variety, enormous range of activities is being done. A lot of traveling is being done by the reflected consciousness. How is the reflected consciousness traveling? With the riding on the vrittis, various vrittis. How are the vrittis forming? Because of various inputs from outside through the senses and from inside, arising from our subconscious mind, thoughts, emotions, desires. So variety of movements are going on in the vrittis. In each of those vrittis, shining is chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. And that reflected consciousness, very busy, very active, always traveling. But the original consciousness, you, the Atman, beyond all this, completely untouched by any movement at all. So it is always shining. Asino, sitting, it always is sitting. It's always in meditation. It's always glowing, shining, without any change whatsoever. That one, sitting, while sitting, travels everywhere, does everything. Does everything means all the actions are actually done because of this reflected consciousness. All our vrittis, our knowledge is lit up by this consciousness. Even our activities, if you walk and talk and eat, and all of it is possible because of reflected consciousness. So all the transactions of life, very busy life, all done because of this reflected consciousness. But this reflected consciousness is nothing but this original consciousness, Atman. Moonlight is nothing but sunlight. So vritti jnana is originally nothing but swarupa jnana. Swarupa jnana, consciousness itself, Atman. Vritti jnana, reflected consciousness in the different vrittis. Now you see, asino duram vrajati, sitting by itself, no movement at all. Who is sitting by itself? Swarupa jnana, Atma, pure consciousness. Duram vrajati, travels far, does lot of activities, very, very busy. Who is that? Reflected consciousness. Like sunlight and moonlight. You, what are you? You are completely unchanging, always steady and shining. What are you? As reflected consciousness, you are most busy. All throughout life, from early morning till late night, whatever all is going on is because of this only. And not only that, there is no rest for the reflected consciousness. Even if you fall asleep, dreams will start. Even dreams are powered by, fueled by, made possible by reflected consciousness. Just the contents, the vrittis are different type in dreams. Mind generates a whole different set of vrittis, where you call it a dream, but the same reflected consciousness continues. But then what happens? Dreams also stop. The mind stops. And the reflected consciousness now merges back, or is no longer active, let us say. You can call it, say, it becomes one with the original consciousness. Or you say it's not active anymore because mind is not active. There's no more vrittis. What is that? Deep sleep. Sushupti. Then what happens? That unlimited pure consciousness alone remains, as if consciousness has, without any limit, spread all over. But there's no specific reflected consciousness. There's only the Swarupa Jnana, pure consciousness, plus ignorance, of course. Deep sleep is ignorance. So blankness illumined by Swarupa Jnana, consciousness itself. The reflected consciousness is no longer active, no longer running around and doing things. So as if Shayano Yati Sarvata, when you fall back, when pure consciousness lies down, as if in deep sleep, then it is as if spread over everywhere. There's no particular activity going on anymore. And the commentator will say that in specific vrittis, the consciousness appears to be limited. Here I am in this body eating a cookie. This is the state of consciousness now. I, the pure consciousness, refracted from this mind in connection with these bodies and sense organs. What am I doing? I am having the experience of eating a cookie. How limited. But the same I, pure consciousness, when the body is sleeping, mind has shut down. I'm no longer limited to this little being eating a cookie. I have no particular limited form anymore. All particular experiences are gone. If all particular experiences are gone, it's another way of saying I'm all over. I'm just spread all over evenly. Good example is in the darkness of space, from the sun to the earth, it is full of light actually. And if you look out into outer space, there it will appear black. It's only when something passes through the light, like a satellite or a comet, it shines and blazes forth with the sunlight. But that means sunlight is streaming from the sun to the earth. In between, there's nothing to reflect it to make it come to our eyes. That's why it seems blank or dark. There's no particular entity which reflects sunlight in that space between earth and sun. Therefore, it seems dark. Similarly, in deep sleep, you, the pure consciousness, are now no longer reflected by chitta vritti, and you know that activity of the vritti jnana is not there anymore. So that is the meaning of Shayano Yati Sarvata. No more particular experiences, a general experience of blankness. That is deep sleep. Then he says, Madamadam Devam. Very nicely put. Devam means the shining one, consciousness. You, the pure consciousness, the Atman. What are you? Mada, amada. Mada means joy, delight, fun, partying. So this one is very funny. It enjoys life. It delights in life. It chases pleasure, avoids pain. Not just one. Why only one lifetime? Many, many lifetimes. Have a festival of lifetimes. Mother, this is delight in living. But by itself, amadam devam, beyond all pleasure seeking, beyond all experience of pleasure and pain, is awareness itself. Madamadam devam. What a phrase. What are you? Devam, the shining one. And how do I understand you? In every experience of life, no matter how pleasurable or how painful, I alone make it possible. How do I make it possible? Bring in the concept of vritti jnana. I light up the pleasurable flash of pleasure of eating a cookie. By my reflected consciousness, this becomes an experience. I light up by my reflected consciousness the pain of a cut or a bruise. That also lights up. Pleasure and pain, every physical pleasure, every physical pain, every emotional joy and delight, every emotional pain and misery, all are lit up by you. This is called madam. Mother, and then amada. But you in yourself are not touched by any of these, nor do you require any of these. These are your delight. Amadam devam. And the phrase is madamadam devam. Pure consciousness and reflected consciousness. Vritti jnana, swarupa jnana. Such a useful concept. It's a very useful concept to understand what is going on here. Everything is possible by you, but you are beyond everything. Madamadam devam. Madanyo kagad gyatum arhati. Very difficult to understand this, that I am such a reality. Who can understand it except someone as fully qualified as me? Well, that means only a person with sadhan chatushtaya sampatti, one who has got viveka, vairagya, shamadamadi, shat sampatti, and mumukshutvam, the discernment between the eternal and the non-eternal, a deep dispassion for the non-eternal, for all that is worldly, and then the discipline, the sixfold treasures, and intense desire to be free. Only one qualified with such things, like me. He says, Yama, the Lord of Death says, like one, only one like me. And oh, Nachiketa, you are, it's implied, you are like me. And like that, all of us here, we are included. We are also part of the in-group. Who other than us can realize this thing? This madamadam devam. Let us look at some of the phrases used by the commentator. He says, Asmadare reva sukshma buddhe panditasya suvigneyoyam atma. Like us. Yama is including Nachiketa. Who other than qualified people like us can understand this very subtle, very difficult to understand Atma, pure consciousness? People generally, even if it's taught, they mix it up with the mind. And we have to be careful also. For a long time, we will keep mixing it up with the mind. Whenever we have confusion about nature of the Atman, know that you're mixing it up with the mind. Or more precisely, you are not able to separate vritti jnana and swarupa jnana. Vritti jnana and swarupa jnana. Or in the language of the Upanishad, you are not able to see madamadam devam. So, what is our qualification? Of course, we have studied Vedanta Sar, we can immediately rattle off the fourfold qualifications and all. But this is a much more ancient text. He says, Sukshma buddhe panditasya. We are the pandita with subtle, very subtle penetrative intellect. But remember, here no mere intellect is meant or a mere intellectual is meant. Here Sukshma buddhi means Shuddha buddhi, pure intellect, pure and concentrated, who can rise above the raga dvesha like Nachiketa, and stilled mind is one can hold on to this very high thought for a long time. That kind of, this is called Sukshma buddhi. It means Shuddha buddhi. Sukshma means subtle, but subtle here does not mean somebody with very high IQ. Here it means somebody with a who is deeply spiritual, basically, pure mind, not very sharp intellect, not in that sense, but pure intellect. Pandita. Now, the Pandit is now a word which is very popular in English also. You have Wall Street pundits and you have Washington DC pundits, the political pundits and stock market pundits and so on. Pandit means an expert and who will set forth his views in newspaper columns in New York Times and Washington Post and so on. But Pandit, the original meaning, Shankaracharya give in another place in the Gita, he gives the meaning. Panda Atma Vishaya Prajna Yasyasi, one who has wisdom about the Atman, who has self-knowledge, who realizes I am Brahman. That one is called Pandit. And then he says, all of these contradictory qualities, they are the glories of the Atman. He says, Sthiti Gati, it is unmoving, and yet it is moving. It does not do anything, just shines, and yet everything is done by it. You hear, smell, taste, touch. It's because of you, the pure consciousness, through the reflected consciousness. Are you walking, talking, working, fighting, whatever you're doing, is because of the pure consciousness through the reflected consciousness. So, Sthiti Gati, unchanging, steady, and yet doing everything. Nitya Nitya, eternal in its real nature. But in look at the vritti jnana. The vritti jnana means the knowledge which we are having all the time. Momentary. Moment to moment it is changing. It is momentary and it is eternal. Ityadi, etc. Viruddha aneka dharma upadhikatvat. It has got many contradictory characteristics. Why? Because of upadhi. Remember, yellow flower, red flower, and the crystal? That crystal which is yellow and red, how can the same thing be yellow and red? It is because of upadhi, because of the presence of yellow flower and the presence of red flower. Similarly, because of the presence of the mind, presence of sense organs, presence of various sense objects, you have various kinds of contradictory experiences, all made possible by that one consciousness which you are. And it's, Madamadam Devam, the one consciousness which is in the midst of all delights and beyond all of it. It itself is a contradictory statement. Vishwarupa iva chintamani, Vishwarupa iva chintamani iva avabhasate. Chintamani vad avabhasate. This consciousness shines like a diamond, like a spectacular diamond. What is this diamond? The universe. You are light itself, consciousness itself. You are shining like a diamond. What is the shining of this diamond? This universe. I think yesterday I was quoting from Ashtavakra. Prakasham me nijam rupam, naham atirikto asmi tataha. My real nature is light. I am not one bit beyond that. Yada prakashate vishwam, tada aham bhasa evahi. When the universe shines forth, I alone am shining forth. This he calls like a chintamani, like a diamond, like a spectacular diamond, it is shining forth. Of course, there are deeper meanings to this. The chintamani diamond is, if it touches something, it turns it into gold, and I think it is a wish-fulfilling diamond or something like that. So consciousness is that. Whatever is possible in life, everything is done because of consciousness. It is the wish-fulfilling diamond. Everything that one could want will be done, given to you in time. All our desires will be, even worldly desires and other worldly desires, everything will be fulfilled. Swami Vivekananda says, never want anything, because, when he says, because you will get it. Normally we think we will not get it. No, you will get it. And this game will be prolonged, lifetime after lifetime. Never want anything. If you really want to experience it, do it. You are doing it already. We are all part of that game. And you will get it. It is the universe is yours. Every bit of it is yours. Whatever you want to experience, you want to experience it with this body, with this eye, with this mind. You will get that also. Only it will take time then. It will through time and space. You will, across oceans of time and space, you'll have to travel to experience these things little by little. Then he says, he explains, what about this sleeping and being everywhere? Karananam upashama shayanam. When all the senses fall silent, no external world. Mind falls silent, no dreams. So no external world, no dreams, that is deep sleep. Karana janitasya ekadesha vijnanasya upashama shayanasya bhavati. The specific knowledges, what did we call it? This Swarupa Jnana and Vritti Jnana, the specific knowledges that we get, specific experiences, the Vritti Jnana, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touch, those things fall silent in deep sleep. Even dreams also fall silent. Then what will happen? Yadacha evam, when you are in that state, what will happen? Kevala samanya vijnanatvat sarvato yati eva. Only a general awareness remains. That is Swarupa Chaitanya. Of course, ignorance remains. That's deep sleep. As if you have spread everywhere. Sarvato yati eva. As if you have spread everywhere. That's why it says it is spread everywhere in deep sleep. But when you are awake or dreaming, then what happens? Yada vishesha vijnanastha svena rupena sthita eva san manadi gatishu tad upadhikatvad duram rajati eva. When you are having, mind is active, senses are active, you're awake or you're dreaming, then you, Svena Rupena, by yourself, pure consciousness, you are exactly the same. As you are in the deep sleep of the mind, similarly, you are in the waking state or dream state of the mind. You are unchanging. When the moon goes through phases of the moon, sun is unchanging. Sun is not affected by it. But the moon has various kinds of illumination depending on the phases of the moon. Similarly, at that time, you, because of the various activities of the mind, manadi gatishu. Manadi means mind and senses. 5 senses plus mind have a variety of vritti. Then you will have plenty of vritti jnana. You will have hearing and smelling and tasting. You will have thinking and remembering and desiring and suffering and enjoying. All this will be a series going on. But what are you? Svena rupena sthita eva. Though you're absolutely shining in your own nature. This is called asino duram rajati. Sitting in one place, you go far. So this is the meaning. Vrajati eva, as if you go far. This is the meaning of the 21st verse. The key idea to take away from here is Swarupa Jnana, Vritti Jnana. This explains a lot. What happens to pure consciousness, the reflection of the pure consciousness in the mind due to the activities of mind and senses. That explains how our life is powered by reflected consciousness, which is none other than you, the pure consciousness. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not even the reflected consciousness. You are the pure consciousness. This is what Vedanta is trying to tell us. And yet, the reflected consciousness along with mind, senses, and objects is also nothing other than you. That is the beauty of Advaita Vedanta. Like, you are the one lying on the bed and dreaming. You are not the one running in the, the plains of Africa being chased by a lion. That's in your dream. You are perfectly all right. You're lying down on the bed, you're having a nightmare. But as far as the dream is concerned, that one who's running on the plains of Africa and being chased by the lion and the plains of Africa and you running in the dream, I'm talking about a dream, possible dream. You are running and your fear and all of that also is nothing but you. It is you, because of you, all this is appearing. Unfortunately, in our present state, all we know is I am being chased by this lion called samsara through lifetime after lifetime. I don't know what lies beyond this. Then the next mantra, equally important, very beautiful mantra. Again, contradictory language. Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu avasthitam mahantam vibhumatmanam Matva dhiro na shochati. This bodiless consciousness, consciousness without a body, just the reverse of what we think. Let me translate first. Bodiless consciousness, not in a body, and yet it is in the body. It is vast and infinite. This self, realizing this, the dhira, the spiritual seeker, the qualified spiritual seeker, na shochati, grieves not, goes beyond sorrow. So what does this mean? Ashariram sharireshu anavastheshu avasthitam. You, the consciousness, you're bodiless. Just the opposite of what we think. We think, when anybody mentions consciousness, awareness, we think, yes, I know what you mean. I am aware, I'm conscious, but I am this fellow, this body, this Sarva Priyananda. And in that there are some thoughts. And in the thought, if you insist, yes, it is conscious. There is consciousness there. That is what we think about consciousness. We think we are bodies with consciousness. Or little better, we are consciousness, but embodied consciousness. No, there is no reference to the body at all in consciousness. Just like, remember the dream example I gave you about running in the plains of Africa, being chased by a lion. You actually are none of that. You, that sleeper who is dreaming and lying in your bed and dreaming, there is no fields of Africa there. There is no lion. There is no man running through being chased by a lion. None of it is there actually. You, the dreamer, have no connection with any of that, and they don't exist also. Similarly, these bodies also do not exist. They are appearances in consciousness because of Maya. You, the consciousness, are bodiless. Ashariram. You don't have a physical body, the sthula sharira. You don't have subtle body. You have nothing to do with the mind. Nothing to do with the body is a big step. But even more stunning is you have nothing to do with the mind. You have nothing to do with that person you think you are. That also you don't have anything to do with. And you have nothing to do with the causal body also. Sthula, sukshma, karana, sharira, vyatirikta atma. The Atman which transcends gross body, subtle body, causal body. That awareness. And yet most vividly present, felt here. You are that. Remember, however, warning, the opposite is not true. The gross body, subtle body, and causal body, they cannot exist without the Atman. The Atman are entirely free of them, but they are not free of you. The dream, the lion and the plains of Africa and the man running through the plains, they cannot exist without the dreamer. The dreamer happily exists without them. The characters in the movie and the activities of the movie, they cannot exist without the screen. But the screen can happily exist without and exists without the movie. So, you are ashariram, neither gross body, nor subtle body, nor causal body. Even when they are present, you are none of them. Just this much if you understand, you are Jivan Mukta right now. What a great freedom you have. You have nothing to do with this fellow called, I, the awareness, I have nothing to do with this fellow called Sarva Priyananda. Nothing. Not being in the body appears to be in the body. Our very intuitive feeling is, I am in this body. It's just the opposite says. Awareness is not in the body. Rather, you might say body is appearing in awareness. If you look at it this way, take a stand in awareness that I am awareness. Now consider the body. You will say what? Body is appearing to me. But then to me means what? I am here. Eyes, the book is appearing to the eyes. So eyes are here, book is here. They are separate. Book is appearing to the eyes. But is it like that for awareness? Is it that I have something outside awareness which is appearing to awareness? Is there any evidence of a body outside awareness? No. The body is only in awareness. There is no evidence of a body outside awareness. If somebody will say, no, when you were in deep sleep, you were not aware of your body. We were all aware. You were lying right there and snoring and disturbing us. So we were aware of it, but you were not aware of your own body. So that body existed outside your awareness. That is the reflected consciousness, Vritti Chaitanya, Vritti Jnana. But from the perspective of Swarupa Jnana, even the fact that this fellow fell asleep and was not aware of his own body, and the other fellows are saying, we were aware of your body and we heard your snoring, all of it is appearing in awareness or not? Is any bit of it outside awareness? Even the idea that I was asleep and not aware of my body is again appearing in my awareness only, nothing else. There is nothing outside that. So, not limited in the body. This awareness pervades everything that exists. It's not limited. First idea is it's not limited in the body. It's other than the body. Then in second idea, it pervades the body and everything that exists. And third idea is body and everything that exists is not pervaded by awareness. They are in awareness. It's not that they exist and then awareness comes and pervades them like a perfume or something. No, awareness exists. And in that they appear like waves in an ocean or like dreams in a dreamer's mind. So, not limited by the body. Then what is this? Mahantam Vibhum. Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam. Mahantam means vast, big. Vibhum means infinite, vast infinite. Now, what does this vast infinite mean? When you simply say big, you may mean big house, big man, big book. Just say big, you qualified with something. Big what? Not big planet. But if you just say vast, big, without any qualification, it means infinite. Without any limitation. It is big without any limitation, vast without any limitation. I'm not talking about vast ocean or vast planet or a vast wealth or vast knowledge. No, I'm just saying vast without any limitation. Then the meaning of that is Vibhum. Vibhum means infinite. Mahantam plus Vibhum together. Does this remind you of something? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahma means vast. The literal, the etymological meaning of the term Brahma. Brihatvat, Bringhanatvat, Atma, Brahma iti giyate. Because it is vast and it expands without limit. That's why the Atman is called Brahma. This is the definition of Brahman. Brahman means vast. But what is this vast? The next term next to it in the definition, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Existence, consciousness, infinity is Brahman. The next term next to Brahman is Brahman, infinity. Infinity is Brahman. So Anantam. Anantam means no limit. Vast without limit. What are the limits? Space, time, object. Desha, Kala, Vastu. No limit in space. Not that it is located here and not there. It is everywhere. In fact, everywhere is in it. It's not located in, it's not limited in time. Born now, then dies, or created now, then destroyed. No, it is eternal. There's no time when it did not exist and no time when it will not exist. That is called infinite, no limit in time. No limit in object. If you remember, I have discussed this definition of God, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. No limitation in object means there is no object which is different from it. In other words, no second reality apart from it. In other words, no second, na dvaitam, advaitam, non-dual. So the word Vibhum means Anantam, infinite. Infinite in space, infinite in time, and non-dual. In Sanskrit, Sarvavyapi, Nitya, Advaita. Sarvavyapi, all-pervading, Nitya means eternal, and Advaita means non-dual. All of this is packed into the little word Vibhu. Mahantam Vibhum, vast without limit. You might say, wow, this is fantastic. It sounds like something out of science fiction. What is it? Atmanam, you. You're talking about you. The commentator says, Atman, Atma Grahanam. Shankaracharya says, the word Atma here is pointed. He says, why? Swato ananyatva pradarshanartham, to show that it is nothing other than you. We are talking about a vast infinite, nothing other than you. You are vast and infinite. You are eternal, you are all-pervading, you are non-dual. Atma Shabda Pratyagatma Vishaya Eva Mukhyaha Tam Idrisham Atman. So Atma is, the word Atma is used about the inner self. You, I, this person, this being. What am I? What are you telling me about myself? That I am Vast. You mean I'm fat? No. I'm tall? No. I'm very rich? No. You are infinite, all pervading, eternal, and non dual. There's no second reality apart from you. Vibhum, Mahantam Vibhum. This is your inner self. If you put these two together, Mahantam Vibhum on one side, this means Brahma. And on the other side, Atma. You got Brahman is Atman. Mahantam Vibhum, the vast infinite, is Brahman, the ultimate reality of everything. Atma means you, the ultimate reality of everything, and you are one and the same thing. This is the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. And I'm just making it up. Shankaracharya himself will say this now. What is the meaning of all this? He says, Matva, realizing. What do you realize? I am Aham iti. This infinite, Aham, I am. I am this infinite. I am this vast infinity. If you could just feel it for even 1 second, you're free. And if you can live it, you will be a Jivan Mukta. But even if that's later, but the moment you realize it for 1 second also, the promise is this is your last word then. It's done. The game is over for you. You have realized your infinity. If you can even taste this infinity for a fraction of a second. And if you do that for a fraction of a second, it's forever. You will never lose it again. You will be touched by this infinity. And others will slowly over time, they will see. They will see in you. They will not understand, but they will feel the breath of the eternal, the presence of something vast when they come near you. So, Matva, realizing. What do you realize? I am Aham iti, Shankaracharya says. This vastness is I. You realize this. Then what happens? Na shochati, go beyond sorrow. Nahi evam vidhasya atmavida shokopapatti. It's impossible for a person who has realized this vastness to be sorrowful. Yes, you may say, is there pain in your throat because of throat cancer? So Ramakrishna says, yes, it hurts. I can't eat. True. What is that? Vritti jnana. Certainly. It's not escapism. It's not spiritual bypassing. Every bit of the medical diagnosis is true. It hurts. It's difficult. Aging is there, disease is there, death is also there. Not one bit of it is denied. But there is this vastness behind it, which makes everything all right. You see, compared to which all this becomes vanishingly small. Then Sri Ramakrishna, then the Hari Maharaj, he says to Sri Ramakrishna, but sir, I see that you are in great joy. Sri Ramakrishna says, oh, the rascal has found me out. How are you in great joy? Swarupa Chaitanya, a Swarupa Jnana? Fine, no problem. It is Vibhum Mahantam, vast and infinite. And the Vritti Jnana, the experience, particular experience in this body of Ramakrishna, suffering, throat cancer, dying, the body is dying. So both are together. How can both contradictory things be together? Remember, Madamadam Devam, the shining one who has, this is the glory of the shining one, who is in the midst of all pleasure and pain and samsara and entirely beyond it. The beauty of this Upanishads is makes you understand how this is possible. Not only possible, it is you right now. All right. So this mantra is very nice. It tells us about the Atman, which is not related to the body. It's not in the body, but it pervades the body and everything else. It is infinite and it has to be realized. Dhira, the word dhira always points to the qualified seeker. Dhira literally means the heroic one, the patient one. But patient and heroic one is the one who has got the qualifications, the fourfold qualifications. And the result of all of this is also mentioned. You go beyond sorrow. The result is mentioned. All right. Let's quickly take a look at discussions before we wrap up. Dima says, does awareness imply that there is someone who is aware? No. And yes. What do I mean by that? Awareness means, awareness by itself is not a someone. It is awareness. It is not someone to whom awareness belongs. You are awareness. You are not someone who has awareness. As long as you think you are someone who has awareness, that's the body idea. I am a body with awareness. I'm somebody. See, literally, some body with awareness. Now, you are awareness who is aware of a body and the mind and the senses. I'm still trying to understand how to go beyond the sense of I. Yes. How to go beyond the sense of I? Just think, even the I is experienced. Don't you experience I? Then to what is that experience I appearing? That's why Shankaracharya says, Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. I am not I. I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm not the memory, but I am not I, I'm not the ego. Peter Dawkins said, during the week I came across this great quote from Swami Vivekananda. Among the Upanishads, one finds no other book as beautiful as the Kathopanishad. Yes, it was his favorite. I wish you would all get it by heart. What will it do only to read it through? Try to bring into your life the faith, the courage, the discernment, renunciation of Nachiketa. True, true, true. Absolutely. Gaurav Mittal says, when I try to understand greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest, using water example, then I try to look for something material which is common to both. That looks theoretical to me. No, don't look at something external. Water example is just a nice example to make you understand how one thing could be smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. Isn't it true that water is smaller than the bubble? Because it has to be in the bubble. And water is greater than the greatest because it is in all the great waves. Now, the next he says, dream example. Dream is made of my own mind, and this paradox applies to dream. Smallest and largest dream objects are contained within mind. When we know the dream is unreal, then we don't attach importance to it and become equanimous automatically. Correct. Also, through logical and scientific reasoning, one can easily see this world as something like a dream, ultimately conceived by mind, like virtual reality. Correct. Dream example does not seem theoretical to me. By theoretical mean speculating about some object. Dream example seems very intimate to you because you are experiencing it directly. Good. Is it okay to try these Advaita concepts? Not only okay, you must. The dream example is a favorite example of Advaita Vedanta. Gaudapada has a whole chapter on using the dream example, Vaitatya Prakarana. And now following on Gaudapada, David Chalmers, his latest book, Reality Plus. So there, I was just looking through it. I got my copy recently, just yesterday. So there, he's saying basically the same thing, but the language is just the opposite. He's saying, let the dream also be real. Virtual world is also real as our waking world. And I was very happy to see, he has mentioned Advaita Vedanta, he has mentioned Sankhya, he has mentioned Buddhism, so little places here and there. And he says these ideas were there in ancient Indian philosophy and also some Greek philosophers. Neela Vora says, can the original self be described as catalyst in a chemical reaction? A good example. It makes everything happen by its very presence. That is the definition of catalyst which we learned in school. Yes, in that sense, like a magnet, like a catalyst. To some extent, you can apply this example. Sean Lee says, is the movement of mind as a reflective consciousness activities are suffering punishable? What does this mean? For example, if a mind, bad intentions, mind's bad intentions in our minds have consequences in life. I'm not very sure what you mean, but at the level of reflected consciousness, the Vritti Chaitanya is very much in the realm of karma. Cause and effect is there. But if you think that, are you saying that bad intentions in the mind will lead to bad karma? Not unless you act on them. If you actually act on them, that means bring those intentions in the mind to the level of speech and actual action. Then it will give rise to karmic consequences. Holy Mother once said that in this Kali Yuga, sins of the mind are not sins. Moner pap pap. No. But one has to be careful there, because if I entertain negative thoughts, bad thoughts in my mind continuously, will be very difficult to check them, because then next they will come at the level of speech and actions also. But don't, what Holy Mother meant was, don't obsess over that. Just be sure not to say or do wrong things. Srinivas Raju says, in the second state of enlightenment, appreciating the glories of Atman is the same as having Sarvatma Bhava, seeing oneself in everything, which realized masters have. Certainly, that is one aspect of it. I alone am shining forth in all these ways, correct? So these are all ways in which you can do nididhyasana. You are saturating yourself by your own glory. Ashtavakra sings once in a while, Aho aham namo mahiham. How remarkable I am. Salutations to myself. With that S with capital S, self with capital S. Alpana says, movement in the mind is a result of rajas, right, and not due to consciousness. Consciousness just illumines the movement and absence of movement. Correct. Consciousness illumines the movement and absence of movement. Ultimately, in the long run, you must say that even mind itself is an appearance in consciousness. They are not two realities. As long as you keep consciousness is illuminating the movements in the mind, and mind is some reality apart from consciousness, that is Sankhya. But the mind itself and body and the world, they're all appearances in consciousness, then becomes Advaita. Anu Nason says, in those with dementia and for Alzheimer's, when the awareness is significantly diminished, awareness is not diminished. The capacity of the mind is diminished, and therefore the what we today called the vritti jnana does not function too well. That's all. Can you talk about Atman in relation to these conditions? Yes. So the consciousness is present there too. The Atman is equally present everywhere. Why just with diminished capacity? Even one would say the lower animals with very little capacity compared to even an Alzheimer's patient, even in plants and even in non-living things, as the pure existence of those things, this Atman is present. See, here the question itself shows you're talking about diminished awareness immediately means vritti jnana, not swarupa jnana. Am I right in understanding that appreciating the glories of Atman happens through mind as manifestation of divinity? Yes. All of this is happening in the mind. Even the enlightenment, I am awareness, in the mind only. But next we'll see, what does awareness do for that? Even in enlightenment, what role does awareness itself play, consciousness itself play? But then also mind is required. For ignorance, mind is required. So for knowledge also mind is required. Sridhama says, when we practice Panchakosha Viveka or Drigdrishya Viveka, how far back can we objectify? Is reflected consciousness an object? Unlike pure consciousness, yes, it is an object. Is it the awareness we feel beyond thoughts in the mind? If you feel it, it's still reflected. These are, at that point, the techniques used in Vijnana Bhairava are pretty good. They understand the very psychology of the mind, how the mind functions. So at that point, nididhyasana, see, I have calmed down the mind. I'm not aware of anything external. My body is steady, breath is steady, mind is calmed, and I feel awareness percolate, shining through. Drop that, they will say. And then you have a complete blankness. And next they will say, drop that also. Then there will be no words to express what is there. Gita Dev says, Swarupa Jnana cannot really be detected by us. Absolutely not. Except for understanding its presence through the knowledge from the scriptures. Right? No. Next mantra will say, it is not just scriptures. Scriptures are pointing it out to us. But the Swarupa Jnana makes everything possible. Your reflected Jnana, that is Vritti Jnana, is nothing other than Swarupa Jnana. It's like saying that, sunlight cannot be really detected by us. We can only experience moonlight, but you're experiencing sunlight only. The sunlight can only be understood by, you have to believe the physics textbook. That's why. There is sunlight only in physics textbook. But actually in the external world, there's only moonlight. No, the physics textbook is pointing out what is there. What the experience is there out there. You look at the world and you see at night the light, and you know that it is nothing other than the sunlight. Now, in this is actually the realization here is even more vivid. I mean, you are experiencing Vritti Jnana, Swarupa Jnana is even more vivid than that. But that requires this breakthrough, this knowledge. It is not just scripture, not just believing in it. Scripture should be used as a pointer. Many people think at this point, so ultimately here we have to believe that this is the case. No, no, no. It is most vivid. It's more than every experience. Even the greatest spiritual experience becomes small compared to the realization that I am the Swarupa Jnana. Is that Aham Brahmasmi. Only it can't be put in the category of a particular experience. That's the thing. Ramya says there's a talk by Swamiji where he answers a question about why there's a need for Chidabhasa. It's called Akhandakara Vritti. Can someone point it? It is part of the Vedanta Sar talks. Yes. It is there. A full discussion is there. In fact, little bit of the discussion will come. We'll see the original source of such things in the next mantra. Palak says, Shubhadeep says, here, what is the difference between reflected consciousness and ego? Okay, ego is a vritti of the mind called ahankara vritti. Vedanta makes this clear. Many of the, what are the different functions of the mind? Buddhi, ahankara, mana, chitta. These are different functions of the antakarana. One of them is ego. And in all of these vrittis, reflected consciousness, chidabhasa, is shining. Just look at your own experience of I. You will see two parts of it. One is I, this thought I, ego. And you are aware. So it's a shining thought. That shining is chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. And that ego is, that I thought is the ego. So it is, when you have an ego experience, I, it is two things, the I thought plus reflected consciousness. Every experience is like that. It is vritti plus reflected consciousness. That is called vritti jnana. In every vritti jnana, there is a vritti and there is reflected consciousness. Palak says, my question, I do understand at times suddenly that yes, I am Brahman. This clarity does not stay permanently. It slips out of mind after some time. How to fix it permanently? Don't worry. Stay with it. Keep coming to the class. Although, very interesting, in the next mantra, Yama will say, even you, this Zoom class also will not help. He says, Pravachana, Vedanta talks also will not lead you to enlightenment. He will say, to tell you next. Pradeep Bose says, 3 different methods of describing or pointing to Atman Brahman. Neti Neti, paradoxical language, implied meaning. Could you tell us other methods? The other methods are Neti Neti, contradictory language, implied meaning. Then there are these stories, sometimes they are told. You know, I've told these stories, the 5 parables for Vedanta. Sometimes in Vedanta, you will find these akhyayika, these stories are told in order to point towards that reality. Then there's one more. About 5 major strategies are there. Yeah, Anvaya Vyatireka. Anuradha said, yeah, Anvaya Vyatireka. Method of agreement and difference. So multiple experiences are there. What is changing and what is unchanging? If you reflect on that, you will see that there is one reality behind them. One method is that also, Anvaya Vyatireka. Multiple methods are used. These are some of the strategies used in the Upanishads. Okay, good. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.